everybody, it's Casey Williams. Lincolns have often been elegant, but they've rarely been subtle. And that is absolutely the case with the vehicle we have this week, the 2025 Lincoln Navigator Reserve. Let's go have a look at it. Navigators have always been big and bold, and this one's no exception. But this one for 2025 just seems like the rough edge has been rounded off a little bit. It seems a little smoother and just a little more refined. And you really see it in the grille. You know, they've always had the great big giant chrome grille, and this is a big grille, obviously, but it's just a little more curved, just a little more delicate, just a little more elegant, and I like it. Black with just the chrome undertones to it, and the big logo in the middle. LED headlamps. But to get a sense of the proportions, those are 22-inch wheels. I mean, this is a really big truck. I think it looks really good in this gray mist metallic paint. You know, I'm just gotten to the point where I'm kind of like tired of blacks and silvers and whites. I think, you know, this is still kind of a subtle color, but I think it looks very nice on this vehicle. Of course, you know, the Navigator badge here on the side of it does tie it to other Lincoln crossovers and SUVs. But some of the little details you start to see, there's just like these nice little lines here in the windows. Just little details all over the place. That really just let you know this has been just intricately designed. I like the full width tail lamp. That's been a Lincoln trademark for a lot of years, the big lamps in the back, especially with the LEDs that arch over and the Lincoln badge inside of it. Trailer hitch hidden behind it. This does have the trailer tow package. And the tailgate is super cool. Splits. So you can just raise the top if you want to, but also you got a good place for the tailgating sit here inside. If you need to get cargo in, there's not a lot of space back here with the third row up. The good news is you can press a button and the third row will disappear. You can also plug in back here. There's a household outlet. There's the 12-volt plug, cigarette style plug back here as well. And some cool little hooks to put your groceries on. Formal limousines have pretty much gone away today, replaced by cars like the Lincoln Navigator and black car service. And if you're going to use this as a limousine or ride in the back of it as a black car from the airport, this is really comfortable back here. These seats, they're almost as fancy as the front ones. They are heated, they are ventilated, power operated, very comfortable. I like the nice big armrest, the console, nice deep cup holders. You also have controls here for the climate control. Also have buttons here for the sunshade, so you can close it up. But with the panoramic roof, you get a lot of light back here. You don't feel like you're sitting in a cave in the back of the vehicle. You have USBs here, to charge, and also a household outlet down below to plug in if you need to. This does have Wi-Fi, so theoretically you can sit back here, open up your laptop, have your iPad on, and do a little bit of work too. So one of the advantages of buying a big full-size 3-row SUV instead of a smaller crossover is usually the third row seat actually is kind of livable for adults. Most of the 3-row crossovers is really for kids, adults on very short trips. But most of the time in the full-size SUVs, you could ride back there for quite a few miles. So let's see how this one is. Press one button. Power the seat. It's nice to have the power step right in. Pull the seat back. And yeah, I don't know that I would sit back here and ride 1,000 miles, but I would certainly sit back here for a few hundred miles. I would certainly sit back here for a day to go to a state park, spend some time with the family. Nice little indents here in the back of the seats too, give you a little more knee room, hooks, nice big cup holders and storage space back here. So yeah, I would sit back here for a while. Well, the biggest change for Navigator in 2025 is right here in the cabin. It really starts with a 48-inch screen that pretty much goes pillar to pillar with a couple of speakers on the sides, echoing the smaller Nautilus that also has a very similar screen in it. When you first get in, it looks a little overwhelming. You're like, oh my God, I can't believe they went quite that far with an SUV. But it actually, you spend a few miles inside the vehicle and behind the wheel, it becomes really intuitive. On this side of it, we have the speedometer, we have the adaptive cruise control system. It shows you the status of that over here. Seat belts right now, navigation, and you can change this where you have nav or you have audio, what you want up there. Right now it's got navigation up there, your trip computer, it's got the weather on the side, current temperature and forecast and clock. So you just kind of sweep across it, and it's really beautiful, it's really bright, crisp, and actually pretty easy to understand it. When you're on the interstate, this does have Blue Cruise, which is the hands-off cruise control system. And on the highway, it'll give you a little symbol here that tells you you can put the system into place. you're on an approved road. When you do that, and it's got a little blue steering wheel, and lift your hands off, and it steers itself. You have to use the turn signal to change lanes. It won't do that automatically. Some more advanced systems will do that. This one does not. Turn the turn signal, it checks the lane, use the blind spot warning, changes lanes. You want to back over, you do the same thing. And also use the adaptive cruise control to keep it at a safe distance. There's a sensor here. It's watching me, watching the road to make sure you don't do anything silly. But took a nice drive, sat on the road for about an hour and a half. Had a meeting, another hour and a half back to Indianapolis. I just sat here for most of that drive, had a Coke, and just watched the world go by. I think it's very cool. There is a smaller screen down here below. This has wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, wireless phone charging right here in the console. USBs in the console as well, both sizes of USBs, cup holders. So pretty easy to get all this, have access to your phone. But the screen, there's some nice things that I really like in this. First of all, this has tri-zone automatic climate control, 2 for the front, 1 for the back. And on that, it also, these seats, I want to talk about the seats for just a second. 24-way adjustable. You can actually adjust the lower cushions separately. So you can change the pressure on your legs there. 24-way adjustable on this side, 22-way adjustable on that one. They heat, they ventilate, they massage. It's super comfortable, wonderful. You got a heated leather wrap steering wheel, and I do like the Squircle steering wheel too. Kind of put your hands like this, or like handlebars, however you prefer. I think it's very nice. But back to the center. Screen's pretty easy to use, pretty intuitive. I've got it up on CarPlay now. Go back, we got nav and the phone connections. Easy to find those. I like that there's actually a CarPlay button right here, so sometimes you get off of the CarPlay screen and do other functions. It's hard to get your way back to it. This one's pretty simple. Rejuvenate, this has Sirius satellite radio and all that too, but Rejuvenate's a really cool mode that just came out. So you see that the dash went to the waterfall. So now we're going to relax. Steering wheel goes away. Seat's going to relax just a little bit. Gonna bring on some soothing music. Seat's heating up just a little. Massagers are on. Just sit here and just take a few minutes apiece.
Welcome to this emergency call. Chances are, if you're playing this session, you're in need of immediate stress relief.
Indeed.
So let's take a few moments to come into our bodies and engage in some deep breathing.
All right, that's enough of that. Let's go for a drive.
Find a comfortable position with a straight.
Well, you might have guessed by now, I'm really not much of a Zen kind of person. I do like a beach in California every now and then, but I relax much better when I'm behind the wheel of a car. So let's go for a drive in the Navigator. The first thing you notice is it's not little, it's big, but it's pretty maneuverable. It's not bad as far as parking it and maneuvering around town. It is much happier on the highway. Has a 4-wheel independent suspension. It's got adaptive suspension. So it handles pretty well. It rides pretty well with the family on board. But you never forget that it's a fully framed truck. And you get on rough pavement, it gets a little clunky just like a truck would. But generally it's pretty good. Powertrain, if you're looking for a big V8, this doesn't have it, but it doesn't need it either. Ford customers are pretty happy with the twin-turbo V6s. This is a 3.5-liter twin-turbo V6. Delivers 440 horsepower, 510 pound-feet of torque, plenty of power for a vehicle this size. In fact, you can tow up to 8,700 pounds of trailer with this. So if you do have that 30-foot RV, you do have the big boat, you have the cabin cruiser, this thing should be able to do that in most cases. And again, key advantage over a 3-row crossover like the Lincoln Navigator, for example. This will actually do very truck-like kinds of things. Fuel economy, I think, for what it is, isn't terrible. You're looking at 15 miles per gallon in the city, 22 on the highway. That's partly due to the 10-speed automatic transmission, so you can get it in the right gear, you can get that turbo and the V6 in the right rev range, and get halfway decent gas mileage out on the highway. I think, again, for a big 4-wheel drive truck, is pretty good. But what I really have enjoyed about it is you just feel safe in it. You feel like you're in command of the road in this. And you feel like that if you need to take it off-road, you certainly can do that. It's capable of going off-road and doing some pretty serious off-roading and some pretty bad roads. But again, I think the cautionary thing to you is if you're looking at this, if you live in the city, it might not be your best choice. It does drive like a truck, and it is pretty big. The 3-wheel crossover might be a better choice for you. But for most people, I think you're really going to like driving this vehicle. Lincoln Navigator is still a very large truck, very big, in charge, and it can do real truck stuff. But it's also very refined now. I like how they smoothed out the exterior, just very elegant, very classy. I really do like the wraparound dash, the interior, and all the features. And while I'm not going to go zen and relax inside of it, I do like the features there, and it's kind of nice for a lot of people. So let's talk about price, because the Navigator is also quite expensive. So it is exactly one Lincoln $5 bill less than $100,000 starting price. This one, reserve package, $105,360. So if you want one, be prepared to pay. Well, next week we'll run the fun car. And until then, storm forward.